welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another casual geographic video called Why This Elephant Probably Wants You Dead. So yeah man, let's go and check this out. Let's get it!
If you ever see an elephant with this on its face, you're probably going to die. That's because this elephant is
probably
a must. Must is the time in a male elephant's life where his hormones go through the roof,
Damn.
causing a bull that is incredibly aggressive, extremely irritable, and horrendously horny. Basically, it turns them into 13,000-pound teenagers. And must causes testosterone levels to shoot 60 times higher than normal. It also causes them to smell like 1,000 goats in one room. Right now, scientists don't know what exactly causes must. But that's only because when they're in it, the elephants are too violent and too unpredictable for scientists to study them without the risk of being put in a history book.
Makes sense.
Stuff running down their face isn't sweat. It's a tar-like thing called taporin which leaks from glands. Which is why an elephant that looks like this is one of the most homicidal things God allows to live. The reason is because female elephants are only in the mood once about every 5 years. When they get a chance to get laid, all the male elephants in the area will start
once every 5 years,
sometimes to death. For about 2 weeks, they'll actively try to put each other out of commission just to have a shot. The bull elephants that lose and don't get a chance to mate will sometimes take out their anger by bullying baby elephants just to get their mother's attention. And in some parks with not enough females, bull elephants will go out of their way to CSI rhinos for no reason at all. Yeah. This actually happens. Elephants usually stay in must for about 2 to 3 months, which means for 2 to 3 months they are the most dangerous and disrespectful living thing on the planet. There's being down bad, and there's death stroking a rhino that just wanted directions to the watering hole.
What is that? Snapping
There's
turtle.
There's no way this
no, it
video
isn't.
Isn't getting taken down. Well,
Bro,
if you're watching
that's
this, it means
crude,
I haven't
that
been
is.
yet. You probably want to know why this prolapsed anus has eyes. That is a soft-shell turtle, specifically a Burmese peacock soft-shell,
alright.
found in Burma and Thailand.
Ugly, bro.
From gumball. And yeah, their shell is soft.
Ugly.
The reason for the soft shell is because a light, flexible shell helps them move faster through the water and the muddy bottom of lakes, and it even makes them faster on land. And because they were built for the water, they have long nostrils that work as a built-in snorkel. So looking like an uncircumcised trouser worm helps them breathe while still hiding in the water. And yes, turtles breathe air. I actually got into a legitimate argument about it last week. Like, bro had a degree in biomechanical engineering or whatever and swore with his whole chest that turtles breathe water like fish.
Dumb
anyway,
idiots.
This turtle's been around for 144 million years, making it older than flowering plants.
Damn!
But this foreskin with a face is endangered, so there's a chance its contract might not be renewed. Especially since the biggest threat to its way of life is being traded in an East Asian food market. Which I can't say I understand because it honestly looks like a third-grade dick joke that somebody accidentally gave.
It looks hideous. That's a bat, bro!
So people spammed me that video, and a lot of y'all thought that was some kind of bat or a sugar glider. Someone even asked me if it was a horrifically deformed flying squirrel. But I personally don't think it's any of those. I think that Pokemon was a Kalugo, and if you don't know what that is,
Kalugo?
Most of science doesn't either. They're called flying lemurs, but it turns out they're not.
It has the name of a Pokemon.
They're just related. That weird.
It looks like one as well.
Fourth family reunion. So even though their closest relatives are primates like lemurs,
bro looks lost.
You know, us. This meth squirrel is basically thanks to that stretchy membrane called a potato.
Bro.
For well over 650 feet between trees. Couldn't really tell where this video was from, but its flying identity crisis is found in the rainforest of Southeast Asia. There's 2 flavors of this furry kite. You got the Sunda flying lemur and the Philippines flying lemur. But I cannot
shout out to you man in the Philippines, bro. Come on, shout out.
My best guess is somebody got in God's studio and tried to draw bats strictly from memory, and this was the outcome. Also, they're tiny vegans that eat leaves, shoots, sap, and fruit. By far, their biggest op is the Philippines eagle, which claps them on the ground.
That's a pretty bird,
but somehow
bro.
They're not endangered, so I guess this hammock puppy's doing something right. I'm gonna say some things, and it might upset
a manatee.
It has to be said. I really think Christopher Columbus at least one manatee in his life. This bro was at sea for what, 7, 8, 9 months, and what he thought were 3 mermaids in the Dominican Republic were actually 3 West Indian manatees.
Wow.
I guess if you look at their skeleton, you can kinda see how that happened. Also, West Indian manatees can tip the scales at 1,300 pounds, so I'm guessing they were just really body positive back then. But not that positive, because Columbus actually wrote that he was disappointed that the mermaids weren't as beautiful as streets told him they would be, especially since their faces had too many masks.
Hey yo, bro actually went in a manatee,
like,
bro.
Disappointed doesn't mean he didn't see it through.
Yeah.
So this last fact, dear God. Apparently, a manatee's vegeta is more anatomically similar to that of humans than any other. I don't even know how many laws or manatees got violated for such a fact to exist. Could be capped, but I'm not finna research it because that's one list I do not need to be on. But when you put all the
Columbus
pieces together,
was wild then.
A manatee, an attempt was certainly made. Since manatees are too unbothered, it probably just let it happen. Columbus didn't discover America, but he might have discovered Rule 34. He came, he saw, he conquered.
Hey yo.
Not in that order. You really don't have to see it through, my boy. And now that I think about it, that llama story suddenly sounds a lot more real. God bless America.
Jesus Christ. Yo. Is that a Roo or Wallaby, bro?
That's cute, really, it's adorable.
It's
but I
really
bet
cute.
I can find 3 animals that sound way worse, and just because, I'm gonna make sure they're all from Australia. Number 1, there's 2 types of people in the world. There's the innocent, and there's those who know what
Wallace sound like the devil,
On
bro.
the outside, you see a teddy bear. That is until they
Look
open
at
their
that.
mouth and you hear
Look at that
sayings
mouth,
of
bro.
digestion. Just in case at least one of you doesn't believe me.
Bro, look. It sounds like he's barfing,
Sometimes
bro.
I think if koalas lived anywhere but Australia, they wouldn't be so out of line. Number 2 is the blue penguin, also known as the fairy penguin. They're the smallest penguins in the world. Once a year, they emerge from the ocean and nest under people's homes. It's all fun and games until you find out what a penguin trying to pipe sounds like. Ain't sweet.
Damn, bro. Sounds like a
And number 3, I
lawnmower.
personally slandered this hellspawn 1,000 times. I'm gonna do it again, and y'all just gonna have to be okay with it. Cause I would forgive everything.
A cassowary.
Everything.
Oh,
about
bro.
the cassowary.
Menaces, bro.
If they didn't sound like this.
Menaces. Bro, sounds like a dinosaur, dude. Hey, mate. Bro, just chilling.
There's actually a pretty cool story behind
Hey.
this. First of all, these are Japanese macaques, and no other
Macaques.
planet lives in a colder neighborhood, especially in the mountains. So they're like almost scary
Cute.
smart. For example, somebody once left a bunch of sweet potatoes on a Japanese beach, and one of the monkeys
Ooh,
watched
sweet
the woman
potato is
wash
so
her food
nice.
in river water. The macaque said bet, and she started washing her food in the river water, and she would even dip the clean food in salty seawater just for taste.
Damn.
The monkeys watched her do this and then copied her to the point where it was passed on from generation to generation. That's basically what's happening here. Once in the 60s, during a freezing winter night, a female macaque named Takiwa saw a bunch of people relaxing in a hot spring. She said say less, and she joined them, and she just kept going back. And just as you'd expect from monkey society, the others saw her and copied her, basically using the spring.
That's awesome, bro.
Today you can find these snow monkeys taking baths not only to stay warm but to lower their stress level because self-care is essential. So much
Exactly.
so that in some places you can share a spring with a monkey. Just keep your phone in your bag because they will steal it and you won't be able to do anything about it. Moral of this video. I don't have one, but tell me this picture ain't violent. If you
Relax.
struggle with anxiety, you and this animal actually have something in
a
common.
narwhal.
This underwater unicorn is a narwhal, and as painfully shy introverts, they can get panic attacks so bad that it kills them. And it's
Yeah,
all
it's
because
true.
they live in hell with AC, so they have a naturally low heartbeat to avoid losing heat and to slow their metabolism. You actually would do the same thing. If you were to take a really cold shower, your heart would slow down and you would find yourself taking deep breaths because of something called the mammalian diving reflex, which is why a narwhal's heart only beats about 10 times a minute. Problem is, when a
Damn.
narwhal's afraid or stressed, their heartbeat actually slows down even more. A scared
Whoa.
narwhal's heart might beat only 3 to 4 times a minute, which is
Damn.
bad. Because while the narwhal's freaking out and trying to swim away, its heart is doing the exact opposite of what you would want a heart to do. Which is why it is very possible for a narwhal to die from a panic attack.
Dang.
Good news is
Poor
narwhals aren't
things.
afraid of a whole lot of things. The bad news is most are terrified of us, which makes it difficult to study them because just the sight of us can possibly send them into a panic. So if
Wow.
you have anxiety and you'd rather go shopping for your own casket than interact with people, maybe you're not weird. Maybe you're
Just leave the narwhals alone,
animals
bro.
that you wouldn't believe were real if cameras didn't exist. This is real, and it's a musk deer.
It
It's
is.
technically not even a real deer, and even though it has Dracula's teeth, it's a vegetarian that eats mostly lichen.
Yep.
This hell Bambi uses those tusks to fight and flex for females, and the bigger the teeth, the more attracted they are to the lady deer. Basically, they use those fangs for the same reason normal deer use antlers, for running
Makes
dates and
sense.
finding females. They also mark their hood with musk, and people often hunt this deer to use their musk for perfume because why the wouldn't we? This is
Why-
a stock
why
eye
not,
flying
bro?
proof that even evolution runs out of ideas. Its eyes are social distancing. Its glasses would need a passport.
Why?
Like almost every questionable thing in nature, if you ever see something that doesn't make sense,
No.
it usually has something to do with getting laid. These hammerhead flies will size up and compare eye spans. Not even kidding, the males get into eye stalk measuring contests, and whoever has the longest stalk has the best chance at pulling females. The only reason their eyes are in a long distance relationship is because the females have a really weird preference. And now we have the Saiga. I've watched not a
Dude.
second of it, but I can look at this and confidently say it looks like Star Wars, and I
It
don't know what
does.
makes me say that. You can find the
It looks
Saiga
like a
in
Star
places
Wars
like Golden, but
creature,
there's only
bro.
about 50,000 of them left. That nose job helps them by filtering out the dust
Look
from
at
the air
that.
they breathe. In the winter, that nose heats up cold air before it gets to the lungs, keeping this Narnia donkey warm. It also
Ah.
makes them the cutest type of ugly.
They
We gotta
are very
protect this
cute.
Squidward pony
Look
at
at
all
that.
costs. This little guy actually has 3 eyes. This dude is a tuatara, and it's found in New Zealand,
Tuatara.
which is really just Australia's nerfed little brother. It's not even a lizard. It's the only living member of a family that was around 200 million years ago.
Damn.
Which basically makes it a walking fossil. Its third eye is on the top of its head, and it's called
Oh.
the parietal eye. You can only really see it when they're babies because when they're first born, there's a translucent part of their skull that makes it almost see-through. The third eye comes
Damn.
from a gland called the pineal body, which is attached to the brain.
Can they
Even though it
see?
is an eye, they don't see out that eye,
Oh,
but we
okay.
see through ours. Instead, the tuatara uses that third eye to absorb ultraviolet rays and make vitamin D. They also use it to detect light because a tuatara is nocturnal, meaning they're only active at night. Except
Makes
for the
sense.
babies, they're active during the day. But that's only because the adult Tuataros are cannibals that would
Cute.
put the hatchlings on a shirt if they got the chance. But if they don't get turned into a pack, the Tuatara has a lifespan of about 60 years, and some can even be around
Damn.
after 100 trips around the sun.
Wow.
Meaning if you get one as a pet, it could live long enough to be at your funeral.
Damn.
Absolutely nothing about this Jurassic reject makes sense. But I'ma let it slide, only cause they're cute.
He's cute, man. But guys, another phenomenal video by Casual Geographic. He does not miss. Bro doesn't have a boring video on his channel. So if you enjoy his content, go support this channel. Go subscribe to him. Thank you so much for all the support I'm getting on the channel. It's been phenomenal the last couple of weeks. And I cannot stress enough how grateful I am. So thank you so much. Don't forget how we do on the channel, bro. Come on. Keep God first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them, and if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.